Alright, this is Chris Curtis with Rutherford and Associates. We're going to go over GL reporting and a couple other multi-company new features in eoStar. GL reporting is where we're going to start. GL reporting is a new tool that we've added which will scan through all of the tables in eoStar called our DRCR tables. These are basically eoStar's ledger tables. It will scan all of the tables and put it into one nice useful tool for reporting, for grouping, just be able to look at everything in one spot. It's based on date range. You could have either your eoStar date or the ledger date. Most of the time these are going to be exactly the same. The only time they're not is if you have you put in some orders, you do some recomputes, something changes in a closed period, and you force it into the new open period. So if you recomputed, decided that some billing code for an order was going into the wrong account, you switched the mapping in your GL source, you did a recompute, but it was for 8/20, August 20th, but August is already closed and I need to push it into September's period. So your eoStar date would be the 8/20 or whatever day it was going to be, and your ledger date would be 9/1, the actual day you're going to send it over to your ledger. What's nice about the reporting tool is that it's like most of the other places in eoStar, it's in a DX grid. So we have all these different grid options with being able to group it in different ways. We can print it or export it to Excel. We have some options to be able to save layout, so that way if you put it into a nice group that you want, filters that you want, whatever it's going to be, if you have it and it's going to be the same way you run it 90% of the time, you could save that layout, so every time you come in you don't have to design your report. You can just hit this layout and it will automatically be there for you. When do we use it? So this is a great tool again. You can run it for a whole month, and then you can look at, say, a certain account, so that way I can see by day or everything that hits the account, find out what my total net changes for the account for the month, and then compare it to what's actually in GP or Sage or whoever your accounting package is. One of the most useful tools, is why we started using it so much, is for reconciling. We already have these reconcile tools that were brought into the system sometime last year, where you can compare what ION says is your AR balance to what we have sent over to the ledger. So there's one for AR, there's one for inventory, there's also an ION inventory batch count. But those tools are always great to give us what is our daily balance in ION, what is our daily balance in GL, but you couldn't see any other details on it. So if you had a discrepancy, you didn't know what to do next. To look at the ION data, you could actually just go to ION, run like an ION AR report. But for the ledger side, we didn't really have any real reports like that. You had to go to the GL account record, look up the history, use the distribution window, which kind of worked okay if you only had one AR account. You could kind of see the details there, but then you couldn't really report on it. You could do a little bit of grouping in the distribution window, but it wasn't the greatest. You couldn't export it at all. But then it also got more difficult if you had more than one AR account. Say you had 3 of them, and they're all, the reconcile tool looked at all 3 of them together and gave you one total, but so you didn't know really which one was off. So that's where the reporting tool was very useful. So again, the reconcile tools are great at showing us day amount and the discrepancy, but that's about it. We had to then go to use ION to see the details of what the ION total came from, and now we have this GL reporting tool to see our GL total.